Right. Okay, let me begin. Well, go on, everybody. Lennox here from Simple 123 Trader. It is Friday, May 16th. We're live at the New York stock market afternoon session. No, it's not the afternoon session, actually. It's the morning session. Glad that you can join us, and hope you're doing well. All right. I don't have my usual cast of characters. We're having some technical difficulties again this morning, so let's see what's going on here on the calendar for today. We had some red news coming. Well, we have red news coming up at 10. Okay, interesting. Consumer sentiment, inflation expectations coming up at 10 o'clock. So that should be interesting. All right, look at the US dollar. US dollar is a little bit on neutral side. Not much going on, a little bit flat. We're kind of in a, this is the US dollar at the top. We're in a range. We're very neutral right now, kind of in the middle of the range. You can see the Euro US dollar is similar inside a range, in the middle of the range. So kind of neutral today, not much going on there. Okay, perhaps the news will make a dent. Okay, taking a look at the US NASDAQ. Now look at it from the daily standpoint. We're in a very strong move to the upside. Next potential high would be this level. We're quite a distance away, but that looks like the trajectory to the upside. See if I can get a few of my members to join here. Okay. Dropping down to the 4-hour. Still in a very strong move to the upside. Hourly. Also still in an upward mode. We had quite the move yesterday, taking out previous highs. And we pull back quite dramatically, and now we're pushing back again to the upside. So looking for continued movements up, and we have done so. Let's go to the 15.
Good morning.
Good morning, Peter. Okay, so on the 15-minute time frame, we have a sweep of the lows, and we're pushing to the upside here. So we're looking to take out the highs up here. The direction in the short term. Let's go to the 5-minute. So again, after a sweep, we're pushing to the upside. So this was a play on the lower time frame to the upside. So the target would be, again, the highs. Drop down to the 1-minute time frame. I'm going to go back to the 15 for 1 second. Okay, we could possibly get a gap here on the 15. And there'll be another 10 minutes on that for this candle, so it might take a while. Might not occur. So on the 5-minute, I do have a gap already. I'm going to go to the 1 minute time frame. Okay, so there's my 15-minute gap. We're just touching into it right now, but that could go away. And here we have our 5-minute gap, and we could come back into that. Okay. How are you, Peter? Are you awake? Not so much. Okay. My usual cast is not coming on this morning here, so I'm trying to raise them here, but not having much luck. All right, we've got about 8 minutes before the market opens. Just trying to see if there was an opportunity for an entry here on the NAS before the market opens, but I would be looking for a pullback to take out these lows here, perhaps, something like that. Let's see if we do get a pullback before in the next 8 minutes here. I mean, are you with me, Peter?
Can you hear me, Lennox?
Yes. Good morning, George. Good afternoon, George. Good morning or good afternoon?
Morning.
It's morning time for you.
Good morning, Peter, Lennox, Vic.
Okay.
Were you able to see that video I sent you?
Not as yet, George. No.
Oh, you didn't have a chance? Oh, okay.
No, not as yet.
I left you a note of how to get to it on.
Yes, I saw that note. Yeah, but I have not had a chance to.
Yeah, so okay. It's a 36-minute video, but you being very much aware of optics will really enjoy it.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we've got about 7 minutes before the market opens. I'm just, I don't know, were you having difficulties getting on this morning, or just a little tardy?
I just got to the office.
Okay, no problem. All right, yeah, I was just wondering. Yeah, we were experiencing a little bit of technical difficulties on our end here, so just wondering. Okay, I'm just looking at the NAS. I'm looking for a possible pullback before the market opens, but it's not doing anything as yet. So we shall see if it does. Okay, Armin's looking to come on now. So, George, on your end on Teams, when you do not have a Meet Now button, when
I do not have a what?
A Meet Now?
No, I do not.
That's so odd. And yet yesterday, Marquise came on without me having to call him. So very odd behavior. So there was the pullback that I was looking for on the NAS.
Not only that, I don't have a record button either.
Just very odd behavior. I'm not sure what's going on there.
And I've updated, every time I could.
A few things to iron out. Okay, so I was looking for that pullback on the NAS. We're getting it, and let's see if they'll go down a little further, which looks likely here.
There were a few instances where I could have made a trade this morning, but I got there just a tad late each time and so never made a trade. They weren't really big trades, but you know, they were trades that were worth something. They were nice setups.
Okay, so all right, so the NAS has come back very nicely into. I'm just missing this because I'm trying to do something else on the other screen, and I'm trying to get my.
I didn't do a top down on NAS. What's it supposed to be doing today?
Okay, just give me 1 second here.
Yep.
I just went through the top down. I'm just going to buy it right now. This is what I'm expecting right here. This pullback on the NAS, and now I'm looking for them to continue going to the upside. So I've jumped in. Let's see if
might be a little bit early.
Might be indeed, but we'll see.
But I haven't done a top down, so you know, I really should do that before I get going.
And okay, we've got a nice pop to the upside here. So I will.
Oh wow! What? Oh, it's 10 o'clock. Oh no, it's not. That's the opening.
We're not even open
you're
yet.
brave. You get right in at the open.
It's not open yet. Still have 2 minutes before the open.
What the heck is going on?
I don't know, but I like it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's yeah. I jumped in because it was set up for a move to the upside, and pleasantly surprised
for a big
to see
upside. It looks like.
I wasn't expecting a big jump like that, but that's also we know that that's possible because we are in a 1, 2, 3. So
yeah, but that's a big 1, 2, 3.
That's a great move. Gotta like that, yeah. Okay, so I'll do a top down here just to. They might stop me out now. So
well, no, don't bother doing that because I did my top down so far.
Yeah, they came back and stopped me out because I put my stop into positive, but you think after a move like that they wouldn't come all the way back in there, but they do.
I'm not sure what the heck is going on. We're 1 minute to open at this point.
Yeah, that's very interesting. So I made a nice profit and then moved my stop into positive, and they came back and took me out, but that's fine. So we are starting off the day nicely.
The volatility is tremendous at this point.
Yeah. We still have another minute to go before the open.
There it goes. There's the opening
now. Yeah. Okay. So they come back down to right where we started.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was looking for. Before I even did my top down.
All right. So if we're going to be going up, they've taken out the sellers, and then now we have buyers. They're taking them out. So we've eliminated buyers and sellers. So we've eliminated the sellers first, and now we're eliminating the buyers. So I don't think they'll take out the low. We should continue back to the upside, but now it's a little tricky to get in with these kind of candlesticks like that. So this, I'll do a top down again from the daily here. We're in a strong move to the upside.
Okay. The news was that Ukraine says Russia and Ukraine agreed to exchange 1,000 POWs from each side.
Okay,
that was at the news at 9:28.
Don't know why that would affect the market, but it's very odd. Okay, so we're in an upward move here with the NAS looking for continued move to the upside to take out the highs up here. That's where the draw on liquidity is at this point.
Well, we've taken out the immediate low. Your point number 1 has been taken out.
Wow. Okay, so that's an unusual move. Wasn't expecting that.
How did the market react to that news? Did it drop?
Yeah, it's quite a down here. Let me just continue with the top down.
Well,
so
sure.
we're still in an overall move to the upside.
No earning money with war any longer. That's a threat to the market, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm surprised that markets would move to that kind of news. It doesn't seem like.
Well, yeah, if they quench that war, there's no earning money with it any longer. How sad. Oh,
all right, so here we are. So Martin, you were able to get on without me calling you.
Oh, yeah, I found the Meet Now button.
Okay, so you have a Meet Now button. George says he doesn't have a Meet Now button. So I'm not sure what's going on with Teams.
Yeah.
Quite interesting. All right, so on the hourly time frame here, we have I have a 1, 2, 3 bottom that's in control of the current move, and we've pulled back into the hourly gap. So it's an opportunity for a buy on the NAS to continue the move to the upside at this point. So you remember yesterday they tricked us very, very well here down here by giving us 1, 2, 3 tops, dropping it, and did not come back down to take out the lows. So, my expectation was that we were going to come down and take out the lows, and instead they went up. So that cost me a little bit at that point. However, I did make all my money back plus, but it's just annoying. The expectation, of course, is our structure is going to all come down and do the 5th wave, and when they don't do that, it's a bit strange, but it does occur. So I did say yesterday that it's possible that they don't come down and take that out, but that's our expectation. So that was very tricky here because it looked like we were in a 4th wave. So here we are again back in the same setup. We've got a 1, 2. We've moved up and we're dropping back down. So the expectation again is that we'll go up and take out this high. So let's see if that occurs today, and we're correct. So on the 30-minute, we can see the structure a lot clearer at this point. We've got a 1, 2, 3 here, and we've moved up. We've pulled back. So we're looking for price to push back up to take out the high. All right, and then on the 15-minute, we can really clearly see it now that we have a large 1, 2, 3. We've pushed up to this level. We've pulled back. We've swept everybody out now, and so
we should really be going up.
Opportunity to get in now to catch this move to the upside. Okay, so if we're wrong, they're going to be coming down further into this area, which would not be what we would expect, right? So that's the only way we can look at it, based on our model, which is the 1, 2, 3. So for those on YouTube who are watching us, we are the 1, 2, 3 traders. What we're looking for is a 1, 2, 3 setup, a 1, 2, 3 bottom or top. And let me just give you an idea of what we're looking for. It was Here are here are two 1, 2, 3 tops back to back, one here and one here. So 1 is our high, 2 is our low, 3 is our retrace. So again, this would be, if I did the second one would be, the second one is violated. So this would have been a 1, this would have been a 2. We would call this a 3 if it did not break number 1. But since it broke number 1, this nullifies this 1, 2, 3. So
what time frame is that, Lennox?
This is the 1 minute. So the first one is valid, and the second one is not, because that high took that number 3 point. So you can't have that occur. And then all we're looking for, essentially, in our 1, 2, 3, once we find a 1, 2, 3, we're looking for a retrace back to the number 3 point, in which is typically about a 50% retrace. So that's our model, and that's as simple as it is.
Okay, right, what's the model look like right now, though? I mean, I'm not seeing it up at this point quite yet.
All right, let's take a little look at where we are. Okay, so if I go back up to the higher time frame here, this is the 5 minute, and see.
Well, everything seems to be goofed up by that 928 movement of the troop exchange.
Mm-hmm. All right, so from the 5 minute standpoint, or 15 minute standpoint on the chart, here's our lowest low. We had a 1, 2 here, and then we have another 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, and then now we get this move to the upside. And
okay, or that's going to be a 4, and we're in a wave 4 going down at this point.
Yes, that's basically what I'm seeing. Now, I don't want to see them come in too deep into this area here,
right,
into this area. But they are pushing in, so I'm looking for a wick.
Into that, though. Yeah.
You know, this, whatever this news was, it's not really that good. So yeah, looking for them to turn things around here imminently. So we're looking for our 1, 2, 3 bottom on the lower time frame. So there, we've got a gap here on the 15. We've come back into that gap. Let me get rid of these guys. All right, so I'm still looking for a 1, 2, 3 bottom here, and we might be setting up now. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So right before the open, Martin, I put a trade on at this low, and that was about 28 minutes after the hour, and all of a sudden it just spiked up. So I was able to take some profits off. I moved my stop into positive, and then it came back down and stopped me out. But that was quite a nice little send off there, out of there. That was nice. The expected move that we would be leaving and going up. However, they've come back to take everybody out. So now I'm looking for a new 1, 2, 3. So this was another opportunity here to jump in, and because I'm chatting away here, I'm not paying attention. But that's there's an opportunity there. And interestingly, Bitcoin has done a similar move at that same point. So the opportunity here on Bitcoin to catch that move was there, just like the NAS or just earlier. So very interesting there. All right, so let's see how they open Tesla. Tesla might give us a hint. They open up quite strongly and are pushing straight up here. So Tesla, we're expecting to continue pushing up to take out these highs and go into this gap area up here. So looking pretty strong here for Tesla this morning to continue pushing up. They're taking out the recent highs. So you could see a little bit of a lull here before they continue. Now there's news at the top of the hour coming up, right? We've got some red news.
Yeah.
We've got consumer sentiment and inflation expectations coming up at the top of the hour. So we have to be aware of that at 10 o'clock Eastern time. Okay, so I'm going to come back down here and see if I can get an entry here on the NAS. So we're getting a nice pullback now on the NAS. Let me make this a little bigger. So we've got a gap here. So this looks like a good entry opportunity right here. So I'm going to take a stab at this. And they're going quite a bit lower than I'm expecting here. Are they going back to take the low out again?
Yeah, they're still not showing me good signs of an up move yet, Lennox.
Wow, so they come all the way almost 100% back to this low. So again, the expectation here was that we wouldn't take this low at this point, and we would just kind of bounce, but we're not. So that nullifies our 1, 2, 3, and it's as simple as that. So it looked like we could have been possibly done. It's a nice little fake. They make this move up, so it looks pretty good that we would come back and then make a bounce off there. But they decided nope, they wanted to come down a little deeper into the gap that I have here. So if I go back up to the 15, I think there are a couple gaps here. So there's one here and there's one below. So I'm going to mark the next one because they can come down in there. So they're really violating the 1, 2, 3, the first 1, 2, 3 on the 15-minute time frame. And what I mean by violating is that we have a 1, 2, 3 here, and we don't want to see them come too deep into this area, but they can turn into a wick on the 15. This can just be a wick. So that's allowed. They can do that. So it looks like that's what they're doing. So still looking for an opportunity for an entry on the lower time frame. So on the 5-minute, we've touched into the lower gap. On the 1 minute, since we've swept that low, the previous low here, I'm looking again for an entry to go back to the upside. So I have a fractal setting up right now. So I'm going to look for an early entry again. And we can be patient and wait for the bigger entry, and that would be at this point. I would look for a breach of the highs.
The problem is that we still have a possibility of breaking a new low at about 40 some pips handles down.
I'm playing the move back to the upside at this point, so
yeah,
I'm calling this the bottom here. So let's see if we are correct, and we get a move out now. We've got a nice fractal setup.
It's trying, but it's.
So I'll put my stop in. My stop will be down below here, and looking for them to come up and take out the high up here. Take out this high short term. So looking for a move like this, then a retrace. This would present another nice entry, and then a continuation. Bitcoin has pulled back quite a bit as well, and is presenting a nice opportunity for an entry on Bitcoin in the same type of setup as the NAS. So here's Bitcoin. So with Bitcoin, again, they swept this low, and we get this big push to the upside. They swept this high, and now we pull back into a gap, and so that was a nice entry there. I was just a bit slow seeing
That's
it.
a nice looking move.
Yeah, so that's
That one I buy better than the NAS at this point.
beautiful entry on Bitcoin right there. I just saw it a bit too late, unfortunately, so missed it down here, which that would have been a good entry as well for that move. And then another entry there. So we can still get a breach of the high, and then another pullback, and another opportunity for an entry to continue back up. So that's kind of what we're looking for. All right, so let me go back to the NAS. We're getting a nice push to the upside here, so we're looking for them to come all the way up. And I'll take a partial. I'm always taking a partial as soon as I get over 1,000 or so, because you can, and so you should. So, and a little bit of hesitation on my part there. So now I have to wait for it to go back up again. Here we go. A little higher than that. It's trying. There, beautiful, nice push there. Okay, so take off a little bit of. That was silly. I took the whole position off. I meant to take a partial. It's early morning here.
Yeah, well, it might be a good move because we could get another good retrace.
Yeah, well, expecting them to take out the high first before we get that retrace. So you'd like to see them take a high and then do a pullback. So yes, you could still enter on that pullback there, because that's probably about the same area anyways that you would expect them to come back into. So let me just mark off the previous gap here. So we've got a gap here, potential for inversion, and that's where we are. So I could enter again at this point. I'm a bit slow. By the time I click buy, and it's on the 1 minute time frame, sometimes it's so fast.
Yeah, well, right now it's in the cautionary area. It's not the full volatility.
Okay, we're getting another touch here in this inverted gap.
It's
Nice.
trying to turn up, but it's having
Nice
some
photo, eh?
difficulty.
This was a nice somebody's little hamlet on the beach.
Beautiful.
I always wondered, boy, that's a dangerous place to put a house.
Yeah.
Is that in Victoria?
No. Yeah. This is down in Trinidad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right, so there's a nice pullback there. So I'm gonna buy it here again, because even if we do go above this high, we're expecting a retrace back into this area in any case. So buying it here is not so bad, and then we're looking for that move. So I made my mistake there by closing the position, which is a good mistake in that sense. But
well, I mean, that may not have been a mistake, really. I mean, it's touch and go at this point. What's going on?
Yeah, I think
trying to go north, but okay, looking a little bit better now.
Yeah, that's the expectation, that we go up and take out the high here. So far so good. My stop would be at the low of the mid candle here.
We're still 10 minutes from news.
Okay, so I've got a nice push now. This time I'll take a partial.
Well, just as you said it.
Oh, they pulled back a little bit here on me. So I'm a bit slow again. Let's see. Okay, so I'll take that there. All right, so news is coming up in 10 minutes. So we're at the macro time now. Let's see what the macro does. So we've swept the high. That's what I was looking for them to sweep that high.
Yeah, it did sweep the high. It didn't close above though.
No. Now we'd look for a retrace, and it's possible they can come and take this low. So let's see if they do in fact do that. My stop, if that's the case, my stop could be in jeopardy, and I could get taken out. But I would, since we have an inverted gap here, I would look for them to just push into the gap and continue going up. So
I don't have a gap on my future. Oh, you're talking about an inverted gap.
an
Yeah,
inverted gap. So a previous gap that was coming
Okay.
down.
Okay. Yep. Got it.
If you see that. Just trying to see the first gap that occurred after 9:30. That was this gap here. Okay, so they came back a little bit, not too much. So my first gap from this morning is here. So that gap is similar to the inverted gap on this side. So okay, so they're pulling back again. So like I say, it's possible for them to come down and take out the low here first before they go. So let's see how deep they come. So my stop could be in jeopardy. So I put my stop below the midpoint of this, below this candle here, but I could be a little bit, I might be a little bit tight. Let's see. I'm going to mark off the 50% of this move, and we're right, 50% is just above that level here. So 50% is about here. So yes, they could easily come down, take out this low here.
There's still an indecision time.
Yeah, they might be holding this for the news. If they're holding for the news, then I could certainly be totally taken out, because they can just spike it down, take everybody out, and then take off if it's going to go up.
I have a feeling that they're going to take off after the news. It's a question of how much they're going to spike it.
Yeah, so I might just give my stop a little bit more breathing room here. Just I'm taking a risk even to hold it through the news here, but everything's setting up for a nice pop to the upside here. But my only problem is, can I stay alive without getting stopped out? So that's the tough part. So my risk is very tiny, so I'll try that and see. So I do have two inverted gaps in here, and that's kind of what I'm looking at. One there and a larger one there. Okay, so hopefully we just bounce and continue out without taking out this low here. That's what I'm looking for. Without taking that low.
There seems to be more buyers than sellers, so that still holds up for a while. Should be in good shape. But
so quick look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin, we came back into this gap, and they leave. So now they've taken out the high. So now we would expect them to come back down again, take this low, and maybe come back into this gap right here. This gap right here, and continue pushing back to the upside. So let's see if that occurs.
Okay, we're getting some downward movement that's setting in.
This is the first gap. Okay, so see if the NAS will pull back again.
There's still a lot of strength.
Okay, so NAS, they did pull back. They almost took out that low, very close. I think it's a tie. 338.2,
No, it still
338.3.
didn't take it out.
No, just by, they're almost there. They were almost a tie. So,
Mine is 25 cents off.
we got 4 minutes before the news time here. So if we can leave this area before in the next 4 minutes, that would be great. But if we stay around in here, it's a possibility for me to be taken out. So let's see if we can get out of here, take out this high, and then we could get a push back in, and then a go. So let's see what
We're
happens
getting
here.
some good positive movement right now.
I'm just keeping my lot size low, my position size low because of the news. I typically buy 100, but I'm keeping it low here. So 4 more minutes. So just wanted to show you guys from what happened from yesterday. So yes, remember on Monday I hit the 3 million mark, and I'm up to 98,000 already since Monday. So almost 100,000 for the week. So since yesterday's trades where I got stopped out, so I've had a couple losses since. So remember yesterday when I was trading, I had that big loss, 9,000, and I was a little upset about that because they really fooled me. I was, we have our structure, and I'm expecting, a certain thing to happen, and it doesn't happen, and it's kind of a little perturbing that they mess you up that way. But they're very sneaky, and you have to be, again, flexible in this market. And I was a bit rigid yesterday. I was really adamant that I thought we were going to come down and take out that low, and it just didn't occur. So I had to pay for that. And that was by not putting the stop in, I had to take a big loss. But that's okay because I can, I'm confident I can make it back, but it's not something for traders to do if you're not comfortable and confident in playing. So after that, I made a couple wins, and then I had another loss, another stop out for 1,200, and so I jumped in again on Bitcoin, and I made a nice big profit and got all my losses back in one shot. I made a nice almost $18,000 profit. So that made up for all my losses. So since then, I haven't lost. And since that 17,000, I've been just stringing them all together here in wins. And I haven't had a loss since that time. So it's been pretty good. And I've pushed the account from 3 million on Monday up to 3,098,000. So it's, again, the goal is not to lose, but it's very difficult. Of course, like I say, sometimes not to lose. So, but that should always be your goal. When you enter a trade, you should be entering not to lose. But you're always prepared to lose, of course, because there's no guarantee. There are no guarantees in this game. All right, so we're 1 minute away, less than 30 seconds. So let's see what happens with the news. So since they've hung around in here, and they haven't taken out this high, it is possible that we've got equal lows here, that they can spike it down, take out the equal lows. So I would not recommend that you don't have a stop in, and I don't want to put my stop way down here, because if they're going to come down, they can come down, take you out down here. And you see, they just took me out with a spike right there.
Down we go.
They just
took out that immediate low and a few others.
Yeah, I didn't want to put my stop way down here because of the possibility that they could do that and take that low out, but I didn't expect them to take this low out. So they haven't taken the low out, and you can see, but they did take out my stop in here. So that was the risk that you take at, trying to catch news, is that they'll spike it and take you out. So I made sure that it was a small loss, and again, really annoying, because I hate losing. So, but my loss is very tiny, so it's not a big deal. And that was expected, that could happen, so I still am expecting them not to take this low. So we have liquidity sitting here and lots of liquidity sitting above. So that might be it for the news at this point, but they could come back down one more time. So because we have a 1, 2, 3 top, it's possible we could come back down one more time and take both lows here. So let's see what happens here. So it is possible for them to take this low out still. So it was consumer sentiment, and the other one was inflation expectations. So it doesn't seem to have much effect to either of them, really. It's just a bit of a blip here. This is more like a fly, buzzing your ear more than anything else, or a mosquito type of effect here. So will we come back again? Take this low? That would be the expectation, right? That we will take this low one more time, but it's possible that we won't. So,
Len, the red folder news you showed, investing.com doesn't count it as a red folder. What was the source you used?
I'm using Forex Factory.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Forexfactory.com. And yeah, so they have it as consumer sentiment, red news, and inflation expectations, red news. Yeah. So the forecast was 53.1 for consumer sentiment, and it came in at 50.8. So that's kind of close. And there was no forecast for inflation expectations, but the previous was 6.5, and now it's 7.3. So it's a little higher, but it's not anything dramatic. So that's probably why we don't see much movement here, but they're very sneaky. And because we had equal lows here, that was a possibility that could be taken. And so hiding my stop down here wouldn't have helped. Hiding your stop here wouldn't have helped. I didn't want to put it way down here because just in case they decided to take it out from down there. But maybe that might have been safe. Maybe. I say maybe because I'm still expecting them to come down one more time, but they might not do that. So we'll see. It's very tepid in here, not much going on. We're into the algo as well. Still inside the macro, another 10 minutes, another 6 minutes in the macro, but we're in the algo as well. And not much movement going on here. Oh, you just missed me in the hammock there. Nice shot of me hanging out in the hammock.
What kind of animal was that? Not you, the other one.
That's those turtles that come up out of the ocean once a year or something and come and make babies. It's one of their babies.
Beautiful.
Yeah, they come out of the ocean. They dig their holes on the beach, and they're protected.
Yeah.
So you can go and watch them. as they, yeah, it's very
That's
cool.
a turtle that I think comes up from a southern border. Are they
Yeah,
common
they
around your
travel.
area?
Yeah, they travel from quite a distance to come to the same
Huh.
spot that they're born in, just similar to salmon. Yeah,
Huh.
quite interesting. Okay, so we're getting a pullback here now. Let's see if we how far we come down. So they have messed up the structure here because they did take out the high. So everything's a little bit messed up. So it's a likelihood that we could see them take out this low and maybe this one as well. So everything's kind of changed in here. It was looking like, we could just get a 1-2 and then just continue out. And it's still possible, I suppose, because they still haven't taken this low, but they violated the high. So since we didn't get this move that I was kind of expecting, then now we get a 1-2. So this could be an entry to push out at this point. So don't have any gaps in here to help me. I'm sort of inside the gap from this side. So this is a tempting buy here. That's what I'm trying to say, to get out. So I'm going to go back up to the 5-minute. Look at this. So it's very choppy. You can see it's similar to what happened to us yesterday. We were in this choppy area and trying to discern and decide which way to go. But we're looking for a move out and up out of here, right? To come up and take out this high. So if you can get in, then it's a possible good ride here. And you can see that pullback. They kind of messed everything up, like I said, by coming back up and taking out the high first. So what we can do is wait for this high to be taken and then wait for a retrace again and see if we can catch that 1, 2, 3 at that point. Because this would have been a good entry here, but it's a bit tenuous because they could still come down and take that low. But if they don't take this low now and we go back up and take this high, then we have an opportunity to get in on the pullback here. Let's see if that occurs for us. See how Tesla, Peter is very quiet, so he must be playing Tesla here. So Tesla opened up with a pop, went up, and it's coming back down. So you can see with Tesla, they have swept out these buyers here, and we come back into the opening gap. So a likely turnaround is possible to the upside here. This is looking nice here for a 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this fifth leg down, taking out the low. That would be expected. So you can either jump in at this point, or you can wait for a breach of the highs and then a retrace, and that will give you a little bit more confirmation of this move. So looking pretty good there for Tesla. It's still struggling, on the NAS. So similar thing. We can wait for a confirmation breach of the highs and then a retrace. So before we go. Yeah, we're just stuck in this channel here. And you have managed to make some nice money in here already. So quite interesting how you can still make money even in the choppy areas, but it's dangerous, of course, right? So my 4-hour candle, you can see the 4-hour candle is a bit neutral. We opened and it looks like we went up, took out the previous high and pulled all the way back down, taking out the previous low on the way down, and now we're trying to push back up. So it's kind of in a neutral to down area, so a little messy. So they've come down and swept the lows, equal lows here. They swept them out. Will they take this low? Wouldn't expect it at this point now because they've taken out this high. So I wouldn't expect them to come back to take out this low at this point down here. But it's possible because they didn't close above this high. So it's always a bit iffy. Yeah, whenever they break a high and they don't close above it, it's saying that the high here that caused the breach of, or the low here, sorry, that caused the breach of the high, it's possible that they could still come down and take that out because it's considered weak. But so I could have a 1A, B, and a C right now. We swept this low. So this is looking like a nice buy opportunity. So let me test the waters with a buy at this point and see. I kind of missed it by a tad there. That was a nice fractal there. So because they've swept and I've got a fractal now, this would present a nice entry. So let's see if I can jump in, come down a little bit more. Okay, I'll take it there. Okay, so looking for them to push out of here now. And they could just look for a breach of the highs here. Trace continuation. So I've done a similar move on Bitcoin. I've jumped in on a low. They sweep the low and have breached, swept the low. So I jump in on the fractal area here, looking for them to go up, take out these equal highs, and then get a retrace back in for a 1, 2, 3 to go. So I'm jumping in early on that move. I just had a nice opportunity to get some profits, but I'm again too slow. So I need to be a little quicker on that. So back to the NAS. Okay, so I've taken a partial on Bitcoin because it made a nice pop to the upside. So take a partial off and look for them to. So now they've taken out the highs. So I'm looking for a retrace. So this is a nice entry here. That's a 1, 2, 3. And you can get even a better retrace now. So getting this nice pop, I'll take another partial because I've got a nice profit going. So take another partial and then let the rest go now. So we're looking for them to go all the way up and take out the highs up here. My stop loss would be just below here. And that's a reasonable stop loss. See if we can continue going. Now, of course, we could get a pull back into this area. So hopefully they don't come down and take out this low again and continue on. So I've got a similar candle on with the NAS and the Bitcoin. The 4-hour candle, we opened, we went down, but we didn't take out the previous low. Now we're pushing, we went up, we also went up. And then they came all the way back down. So it looks like we opened, went all the way up, came all the way back down. And so we're in that wick area. Here is a good area to enter to catch the body move back up to take out this high up here. So this is a likely high that they're going to be taking out. So let's let me move. I'm going to move my target based on that to the high of the wick here. So that's a likely target there. So this is a low-hanging fruit, this one, but we can go to the candle high because that's a likely scenario that they're going to go and take out that high. I've got a gap here. So I could move my stop into positive at this point, but it take a risk anytime you move your stop into positive, but I'll just put it a little bit down here just to give it. So that way I'm not going to lose on this trade. All right, so NAS has given me nice profits here. So that's what the expected move was to get out. So I'm going to take a profit, take a partial off here. All right, so now my stop loss again, putting in the positive here might be a bit tight. They could easily come back down. Since we've taken out both highs now, we could see a retrace back down, but how far down will they come? We can look for 50% of the move as a possibility. So once we get a top, let's see how far down 50% takes us. So this high to this low, 50% is right about there. So I could try to hide my stop loss in that area just around there, just to get into positive so I don't lose. But so this is what I like to do if I feel any kind of iffiness about the trade, or I like to put it into positive as quickly as possible. Otherwise, I don't really move my stop. I just kind of keep it there and let price go. And the reason I don't move my stop is because if you go into a trade, we're looking at our 1, 2, 3. We get our 1, our 2, our 3. So in this case, this would be our 1, our 2, and our 3. And inside of that, we got an A, B, C. So this is getting a little terse, we get this A, B, C move. So they sweep the lows and looking for an entry in this area. So if we get in and you put a stop in, then your stop is essentially your takeout. So if you shouldn't move your stop, you should keep your stop there. And if you're expecting to go up to the high up here, for instance, then that should be your target, and you should leave your stop alone. You shouldn't have to move your stop if you're confident in the move. But if you feel in any way iffy about it or whatever, then you can always move your stop to a positive. A lot of people like to move to break even, but I like to put it into positive because I don't want to get zero or negative. I want to be in a positive trade. So that's the reasoning for my moving my stop. So yes, we can get a pullback here. They could take me out, but I could also get back in if they take me out. So it's all good. All right, so my target on this one would be the current daily high, which is right there. And this would give us we're in an algo time right now, so this could be a nice algo move, a shallow retrace here, and a continuation to the upside. So Bitcoin's doing nicely. Couple of gaps in here. So could move my stop up a little bit more. Yes. Okay, so now look at that much they've come. See, that's the risk you take when you move your stop up. So very close to taking me out. They came right to 50%, almost exactly. Let's see, there's the new high. So exactly to 50%. So I might be okay there, and we could continue going. But they could easily spike it down, take you out, take that low out again before they go. So you're never safe. Never feel safe when they pull back, because they can take you out easily. So let's see if I'm going to get taken out. The only time I would feel safe is once we cross that high. So could have actually added to my position, could add to my position right here. Go back up some bigger lot size here for bigger profits. This is an opportunity area, because we've got a nice 1, 2, 3 at this point. Back down 50%, get a fractal. So that's looking like a good place to add to your position, but it's still a bit iffy here. They're not. There's no confidence in this move really to the upside yet. They're still a bit iffy in here. There's lots of room to come down. Everybody's pretty quiet. If everybody's still with me?
Yep.
Okay, good. Sometimes it's so quiet, I don't know if everybody's there.
I'm just doing some programming while this is going on.
I thought I had Armin on. He was asking to join. Did he join us, or? Okay, Peter's still with us. Peter has been very quiet, so he must be diligently trading. Okay, so look at that. So that was interesting here. This was looking like a nice 1, 2, 3. So if you jumped in on that, although we didn't get a fractal move, so I would not have taken that trade there. You need to wait for this breach of the high to get confirmation, and that did not occur. So they came and took the low. So now once they take the low, they've come down a little deeper, but that's fine. You just wait for a new fractal for a quick entry, or you can wait for a breach of the high and then a retrace to go. So if you're patient and wait, then you get a nice opportunity there. So quite interesting there. You know what NAS is doing now. We're finally starting to push out of there. So I need to see them break the high and give us that move to. This is our catapult, slingshot. I'm calling our 1, 2, 3 a slingshot now. Okay, that catapult slingshot. Eh? It's like you stretch it, you pull it back, you pull it back, and you let it go. So it's a slingshot type of effect. This would be your fulcrum. You pull it back, and sometimes it can come back quite a ways and sling it. It's interesting that with a slingshot, the more you pull it back, the more velocity you get, right? But with the 1, 2, 3, it's kind of the opposite. The less you pull it, but it comes back, the more velocity you get.
What there? Oh, you're. Okay, hold on.
Bitcoin's doing. Bitcoin's still going. So I can move my stop up quite a bit
I
now.
need to mute myself first.
Oh, no. They stopped me out on NAS? Wow. So that didn't, so they took me out on the NAS. So this was a possibility. They come down, take out these lows. So we do have a 1, A, B, C. So I could enter again to look to go, but you can see we're in a very choppy, scary area. Lots of interesting movements here. So let's go up to the higher time frame, see what's going on. Yeah, it's super choppy, eh? This is almost identical to yesterday's madness. With a 15-minute. So the expected move is still to the upside, but we're having a hard time getting out. Very much so. See what S&P is doing here. So S&P is a little stronger. We're kind of moving up in an angle this way, while the NAS is flatter. The NAS is a angle. It's a little different. So S&P is not breaking this low. So we have some divergence right now happening compared to the NAS, which did break that low. there's serious divergence going on here. And we have a 1, 2, 3 right here. So we could be going down to take out all of those now. That's a likely scenario. So everything has changed just by that pullback here. They sweep the lows, and we're likely to sweep all the lows. Whereas then
I was talking and I was muted. It's going to take out all the lows.
Yeah, S&P is having a little bit of divergence. Oh, and Bitcoin has pulled back to hit me as well. Okay, so there's something going on causing that's quite a drop. So I moved my stop up to this level on Bitcoin. Nice profit though, and regardless, but I left a lot on the table. It would have been nice to see them continue up, but they're not. So what I have here on Bitcoin is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, retrace back into hopefully the gap in this area. We could still jump in again to continue this march to the upside. So let's see where 50% takes us. This move here. So from this high to this low, we're right at 50% as we speak. So these gaps here are coming into play. This could be another turning point area for an opportunity for another entry to continue up in Bitcoin. So at this point, making these nice profits on Bitcoin, I don't have to play Bitcoin again, for now. But we'll continue watching the NAS. So NAS has now taken out that low, so divergence is gone. So S&P. Oh no, no, it hasn't. It's not gone. I'm sorry. It's still there's still a divergence there. With the S&P has not taken out the low still at this point. It's looking like it's likely to do that though. Likely to take that low. And this low. So we could see it take both these lows first before we get a turnaround. So the NAS has taken both lows, it looks like. Or it's a tie. 316.2. This low is 316. Yeah, so they did break the low. So there's only one low left. That's this guy over here. So will they take this low over here? That looks likely as well. So big turn of events here. It looked like we were ready to go out of here and continue up. But they said, no, we're just chopping everybody up and we're taking everybody out. So that's all there is to it. And that's okay. So S&P has taken the low, so there's no more divergence happening. So they might still not take all the lows. S&P might leave these guys alone here, and we could see S&P turning back to the upside. So if we see this happen on S&P, then it's an opportunity to go. Only one low has been taken on the S&P. So still a bit of divergence going on, right? Got these two left. Okay, so on the NAS, all of them have been taken now. But where are they going to? On the 5-minute, 15-minute. So we're right into that last gap here. So it looks like the structure might have been done at this point, George. We've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. They dropped it back down, swept this low. See that? They dropped it down, swept that low. Then they moved up one more time, sweep that high. Now they've come back down again, swept this low. So now they're sweeping everybody out again on another move down. So this gap should hold us. If we go through this low, then that messes up the entire structure, and it's a whole different ball game. But if we can just wick here, just get a wick here, this can still propel us to the upside. But it's an iffy situation right now because we've come down so low into this area. So this gap is our last bastion of defense here. There's also a series of order blocks here. So will we hold here or not? And see, we're going through it. So this can turn into a wick on the 15-minute time frame or tail. And they're vying for that low. Wow. So that would really violate our structure if we came below this low. So that would mean that the whole thing has changed. Unless this turns into a wick at this point. If we violate that low. So based on our structure, we should not violate it. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves, A, B, C. We shouldn't be coming down to take out this low. Or this one. We shouldn't be taking either of them. We should just be turning around to continue going up. So this is where the turnaround area. We've come too deep into this area, never mind, at this point. So don't like to see them come into this area here. So rather this kind of move, but they do that sometimes. And so you have to expect that can occur. So I'm looking for this to just be a wick here on the 15 minutes. So that means we can look for an entry again on the 1 minute. And this is setting up for a nice entry at this point. However, I'm a bit leery because I have a 1, 2, 3 top. So when I have a 1, 2, 3 top, this could be a fake out move and we could still drop one more time. See? So you always have to be where your 1, 2, 3 is. So yes, I could jump in and take this trade, but it might not take me all the way out, is what I'm saying. We can maybe just go halfway up or something and come back. That's a total possibility. So this would be a quick scalp if you took this fractal entry. So it's tempting, entry, that's for sure. But it's a risky one. That makes sense to everybody, I hope. I'm not talking to the wind here. Those guys on YouTube watching us, everybody
I've
watching
been
us.
programming Lennox.
George's not even listening to me, so there I go.
Well, I'm following
It's all good.
you. It looks like it's at a bottom, but it doesn't really say that it wants to go up quite yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting them to come and take these lows out again. So now that they have, you have to change your whole analysis. And that's, we were looking for them to push out of here. But since they don't do that, you have to change and go with the flow. So you see what I'm saying here? It's tempting to jump into this, but this low is in jeopardy because we've got a 1, 2, 3 up here. And you see, even if you think that they could come back up, sometimes they just don't. So you could jump in and then you get stopped out and you wonder, why am I getting stopped out? It's a 1, 2, 3 bottom, but nope, it's not, because you're at a third wave area, and they can still mess you up and and do all this kind of stuff in here. So you just don't know what they're going to do down here. Very, very questionable area for trading. So that's why I'm saying, I hope you guys understand what I'm talking about, because it seems like a bunch of malarkey, but it's not. This is the reality of what goes on. So much manipulation. It's amazing. So Bitcoin has also, it's actually doing what I'm expecting, Bitcoin, but now that they've come back down. So I thought they would continue up, perhaps to take a high, but they're saying no. And if I go to the higher time frame, like on the 15-minute, I can see why they're doing what they're doing now. So from here, we have a 1, 2, 3 top, and then we dropped. So the expectation would be that we could come back down and take out this low. So they've done it.
It's taken out a good low at this point, Lennox. I had marked it earlier. Let me see I had marked it at 3 o'clock yesterday. It took out that low. So it's possible to go down to the next low, which...
Are you referring to the NASDAQ?
Yeah, NASDAQ.
Oh, okay. I'm on Bitcoin here, so...
Oh, I'm sorry.
No problem. So, yeah, with Bitcoin, it's similar. Now I can see that the pattern has changed. It was looking like maybe this was a low, but then I realized, wait a minute, there is a 1, 2, 3 over here. So when we have a 1, 2, 3, it's just similar to what I just drew. You have a 1, 2, 3. The expected move is to take out the low once we get a bounce. So that's what it looks like they're doing at this point. So you get this big bounce back up, and now they're pushing back down. So there is a 1, 2, 3 at this point now that's taking us down to take out this low. So if you don't see it, then you get caught. And I'm just seeing it now because I didn't really look at it properly in the first place. So we're chopping up and down in here, but it's the effect. We've got a 1, 2, 3 at this point. That took us up to this level. So of course, when we get to this level, we're expecting a pullback to take us back up to take out this high. But in the interim, while we're in here, they can mess you up. And this is one of the things. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they have to come down and take this low out again, because it's kind of violating our area here. However, it's possible that they can do that still, because they can turn this into a wick. They can just wick this out and then continue up. So it's very tricky. Very tricky. And yeah, you have to that's why when we play off the 1 minute time frame, it's so good, because you can get in and out quickly and not have to worry about the bigger picture. But you should always keep the bigger picture in mind, the bigger pattern in mind. So you can see the bigger pattern on the NAS now is that we have a 1, 2, 3 here. So this is what's controlling the current move. So we can go down quite a ways here. So if that makes any sense, again, then that's kind of what's going on. So it looked pretty good that we could get this move to take us out, to take out this high. But once we go to the higher time frame, it's saying, no, we're likely coming back down to take out these lows and continue down. So now I have a double 1, 2, 3, and I'm continuing down. So had I gone back up to the higher time frame and looked at this properly, this is one of the reasons why I only trade one thing at a time, because if you're jumping around like what I'm doing right now, sometimes you can mistake where you are and get caught. So it's good to understand where you are in the structure. So continue down for Bitcoin short term here. So NAS is doing the same thing. So because I have a 1, 2, 3 at this point, then the trajectory is to the downside. So are we done now? It looks like a possibility. So let's go back up to the higher time frame again. Need to see to the left. So we've swept everybody out. There's no one left down here. Let's go to the 30. So we've swept everybody out except for these guys down here. So it is a possibility now that we are done this move, because they might leave these guys alone here, and we could turn around and continue going back up to take out these highs. So that might be the trajectory for the rest of the day now. So let me mark off this low. And look for a possible turnaround opportunity here. Trying to see the overall pattern here. Let me go to the hourly. Okay, so this was our low. We get a 1, 2, 3 in here, very weird. Get this move up. So this is still our third wave. So this is just a fourth wave that we chopped up in. So this whole move was our E leg. So A, B, C, D. It's kind of messy in here. D, E, something like that. So that becomes our end of our move. Pull back. This is our E here at this point. So in here, they did an A, B, C, D. No, so I did that wrong. Okay, let me do that again. A, B, C, D, E leg. So sweep everybody out. So we're looking for a turnaround now to go back up. So so that's our structure. We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, and then we continue to take out this high. Okay. So I'd be looking for an opportunity to go long now on the NAS. So it's setting up as we speak. I've got an inverted gap here. So this could have been an entry already because I have a nice fractal there. That's missed. So do we get a retrace? Or is that enough for them to, and that's it? That's all they're going to give us at this point, is that retrace, and we could just be taken off now. So you see, it can be really quick. But we could still get it to retrace. They could still come back down, take these lows out, and then we could go. So let's see if that occurs. See how far down S&P went. So we have divergence with S&P again. So the S&P took out that low, and NASDAQ did not. Or sorry, NASDAQ took out that low at this point there. S&P did not do that. Or am I wrong here? Let's see. Yes, that's correct. S&P did not take that low. So we have divergence. So this is a turning point. So which one do you want to jump into? And the NAS was sitting pretty because the NAS or the S&P was the one to jump in first because they didn't take out that low. Well, and then NAS is lagging a little bit. It's a little weaker at this point, but we've missed the opportunity to get in. And that's all there is to it. End of story. So, so I'd be looking for a pullback. In Bitcoin, I go up to 15. Bitcoin has, I'm looking for them to take this low out, but it's not assured. It's not an assured move. It's a likely scenario. It's an expected move, but sometimes Bitcoin will trick you completely and not do that move at all. So I drop down to the 5. So the expected move, since I have a 1, 2, 3 here, or we can say A, B, and then it's drop, is that we should come back down one more time, take this low, but it's not 100% that they'll take the low, which I didn't mark off. Let me mark off that low right here. So I'd like to see them take that low, but there's no guarantee that they will do that. So there's the low. So since I have a 1, 2, 3, and have dropped, I would expect them to come back and take this low one more time, but there's not a high, it's possible that they can take the lower low, which is what I would expect, but shall see if they do that. So in the interim, you could play this to the downside. So I've got a 1, 2, 3 here. Just move up, drop, looking for them to move back up one more time back into this gap. We've already touched into it, but they'd like to take out this high one more time and then give us a drop down to take out the low. So it could be a sell from here to the downside. We're not getting much of a pullback here. They swept the high. Looking for deeper retrace here. Where's 50%? Right about in my gap there. So looks like a reasonable retrace area. So no retrace as yet. So right now I've got 1, 2. Martin, you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Somebody's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always so quiet. I'm not sure if anybody's listening to me at all. This grown man mumbling away. chattering to himself, looking at blue and red bars on the screen. There's a little bit of insanity to it, Martin. And I'm guilty.
Well,
If someone would have told me that, when you grow up, you're going to be staring at a screen with red and blue bars on it. Yeah, okay. You know what I mean? Martin's not talking to me again. See, I am talking to myself.
Say again. Yeah, my cat is talking to me in parallel.
Yeah, I was just saying that if someone had told me that when I grow up, I'll be looking at a screen with red and blue bars on it, I would
Well,
have. Yeah, it's a bit insane. Sometimes I feel like I've gone insane looking at this stuff. Sometimes, you look at it long enough and it's like, okay. Trying to make sense of it all. So right now there are no opportunities for an entry on NAS. So I'd be still looking for a retrace here since we've swept the high. I've got 5 waves up now. Essentially, I'll be looking for a retrace back down into around the 50% area. So will they do that? Possibly. Look for them to take this low out. But now you see they're going higher. So I have to keep moving my fib here. So I do have a gap right there. Gotta keep marking these off as well. Just make that a little bigger so I can see. So there is a gap right here. So that's right at 50%. So can we get a retrace back down to this area? That would present a nice buying opportunity to continue out. In the interim on Bitcoin, I was looking for them to take out this high. And I don't know if they did or not. It looks very close. Looks like perhaps a tie. 103,674.24. 103. No, they did not break that high. Interesting. So it's still a possibility that we can go up and take that high because they didn't take it the first time before we start to come down. Of course, they could just come down, but I would expect them to take out the high first. Well, let's see if they do in fact do that. Bitcoin. There's luxury, eh?
Oh, wow. Is that Sweetwater? No, that's the ocean, is it?
That's water coming in from the ocean into a river.
Nice.
Or sorry, a river water coming down into the ocean, but they mix right there,
Yeah,
because the water comes in from the ocean as well.
Yeah, if you take a dive, you can see the area where the sweet water is on top of the salty water.
Yes.
Nice.
Looks like an alligator down the bottom right-hand corner.
Yeah.
There's been an interesting movie on the Mayan civilization where what a cenote is. It's like in water that's deep down and has tunnels in it, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's certain places where the cenotes are all fresh water, and some places they move out to sea, and you come up to a barrier where the salt water meets the fresh water, and it sort of clouds up the situation. It's, you get a turbulence around there, and it makes it difficult to see
Yeah,
the difference.
yeah, yeah.
They don't like each other, I take it. The salt and the fresh. Yeah, that shot there is, the water is super beautiful. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's so nice there, just fantastic. All right, so there is Bitcoin taking out the high as expected, right? So now I would not expect them to go and take this high. I'd like to see them turn back to take out these lows and continue down. So something like that. That's kind of what I would expect at this point. That's the expectation based on our 1, 2, 3 here. We drop. I'm expecting them to come back down. Whoops, come back down. I can draw a straight line and take out this low here. So it's a selling opportunity up here on Bitcoin.
Now it's interesting that NASA is actually doing very close to the same thing.
Similar.
We have that nice downtrend move.
Yes.
And we're now in an uptrend that's a little bit over 50%.
Yeah.
Which
So
is exactly the same as Bitcoin.
Yeah, similar move. We get this drop. So this could be a point that they could come and take out again or not, because we have this in here. So it is possible that this is the bottom, but this could also be a fake move, and then we could come down one more time, take that low out. So care has to be taken in here. So if once they break this level here on the way down, we could see a 1, 2, 3 here. That would tell us if we're going to be coming down to take out this low for sure. So we can kind of judge it by that movement. But Bitcoin looks quite nice here. Oh, I know. So they've broken this high. So everything has changed.
Okay,
so,
now that's different from NASDAQ. It did not break the high, is going down.
Yeah. If they break this high, then your whole analysis is wrong. So something is not right. So now let's go back up to the 5 minutes. So you can see it's more of a choppy move. So we're inside a structure like this. So we're getting a chop, and we can still come down, yes, and take this low out, but you can see it's a totally different ball game than what I was expecting. It's not an impulse move now. So an impulse again means that we're getting a straight move down where we do not come back above our number 2 point.
Yeah,
so
that's on Bitcoin, but if you go to NASDAQ, you still have an impulse wave on the 1 minute chart.
Yes. So we can still come down again and take out this low on Bitcoin, but now it's a bit tenuous now because this high is in jeopardy. So if we break this high, then everything changes again.
Yes.
So you have to be and they can do that. They can break the high even just with a wick.
It looks like they want to.
It's still
really.
valid. It's still okay for them to break that with a wick. You don't want to see them do it, but they can do that. So it's very tricky. This is what makes this stuff.
Based upon the candle, oh, there it goes. As soon as I opened my mouth, it went.
So now what's happening is that what we're expecting here, 1, 2, 3,
well, there's
4,
one
and then
more
a drop
high above that, which is really not that far away, and it's now just seconds away from hitting that.
Yeah, so everything has changed here now. So now
you're going north now.
Now
it should be breaking that new high, that high of May 16th.
Yeah, I'd be looking for a retrace now. So now that we've broken the high, we need to see a retrace happen here. If they're going to give us one, we've got a gap right here. So we'll look for them to come back into this gap area. And again, I can mark off 50% of that move from this high to this low. And that puts us into our gap. So if we can come back into this area, then it presents a buy opportunity.
You broke it on yours?
Yes, it broke the high. Yes.
Okay, I didn't break my high.
On Bitcoin?
Yeah, on Bitcoin.
But Bitcoin is all the same for everybody, so you must have broken the same high. I'm talking, not talking the high. I'm just talking the.
No. I'm talking about the high at
that high was at
957.
no 11. No, I'm talking 1130. The 1130 high. There's a high at 930.
Oh, well, yeah.
There's a high at 955,
high.
which we haven't broken yet.
Going back.
Yeah. There's a high at 955, which we haven't broken yet. So from the 5-minute time frame, that high at 955 is still there. So that's the next assault. But I'm looking for a pullback first.
That's the one I was talking about.
Yeah. So I'm looking for a pullback first before we attempt that one. So let's see if we get that pullback.
This has been a very aggressive up move. So.
Very much so. And if I was expecting this move, I would be in this trade to the upside, but I was not expecting that. I was expecting them to come down one more time. So, and you have to expect that they would come down one more time because that's our structure. So, if it doesn't occur, then something is wrong or you're misreading it, and that's basically it. So we can misread it, of course. That would be your first inclination is that, I've misread this, I'm miscounting. And the second would be, okay, something is amiss. So NASDAQ now is also kind of, you see the expectations that we could come down one more time, but maybe not.
Yeah, so NASDAQ just came up and touched VWAP, and it's backed off a slight amount, but it's looking like it wants to go back down somewhat.
Well, they swept out all these lows here. This little wick took everybody out. So all the buyers are out of the game right now, except for these guys here. So
looking like we want to touch that high on Bitcoin too. It's trying to do it now.
What is the spread you get on Bitcoin?
I'm sorry?
What is the spread your broker gives you on Bitcoin?
Oh, I get about 20 pips, 18 to 20 pips.
Okay.
On Axie.
That is nice. I think I'm at 33.
You just check. Right now it's at 15.
Oh, nice. So that is less than half mine. Okay.
Yeah, on Axie it's 15 right now.
Yeah, Bitcoin is really very aggressive on their spreads.
Oh.
So as you know, as we're playing here, I'm in I'm using my Axie account and trading away and so forth. But so there's my Axie. So here's Bitcoin. It's got 15 pip spread. Sometimes it's 20, 25, 20, 18, so it kind of fluctuates. But 15 is pretty good.
On the chart I'm on, it talks about 18,000 is the spread.
Yeah, so that's about 18 pips there.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bitcoin is looking, okay, I'm going to go, sorry, NASDAQ. Oh, no, Bitcoin. Let me go back to Bitcoin.
Getting ready to assault.
Yeah, so they're still looking for a retrace, but they're not giving it to us right now. It looks like they want to take out the high first, possibly here. So
it just did it. We have a new high on Bitcoin.
Okay, so everything has changed. Thought that perhaps they could come down, take out the low one more time. They said no. So all of a sudden they turned it back to the upside. So I'm looking still for a retrace to give us that an entry, because this is very tough to get in. So now we have to wait. So you can see how violent this is in here. It was quite orderly for the longest time, very orderly, nice movements. And then here, all of a sudden, it starts getting violent. So something is going on in here, causing this violence. So if we can see it settle down and give us our proper structure, now that we've broken the high, and if we can close above this high, then I'd look for a retrace back down to continue. Otherwise, it's just gone, right? And that's possible as well. It'll just go. So if I go up to the hourly, this is the kind of move that we're looking to go up to these highs here now. That high there. That's a short-term high. And then we have another high up here. That's next. So that's in the cards as well. But for now, the short-term hanging fruit is right here. So looking for a retrace here on Bitcoin. Will we get it?
Not quite yet, but close.
To the entire move now.
In the meantime, NASDAQ never went above VWAP. It touched it and then came back down again. So the strength seems to be more in Bitcoin than in NAS. And NAS could possibly break higher too.
Yeah, they've taken out all the lows here. So now we've swept the high. So I'll be looking for a retrace here to continue up. So let's see if we get a retrace back into. We've got a
There
gap
it goes. Here. It just broke up.
Bitcoin?
Bitcoin broke out higher. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm still expecting a retrace on Bitcoin. So now NAS is giving us a little bit of a retrace here as well. And that's presenting a buy opportunity at this point. Now it's a tough one because you could jump in and it's possible they could come back down one more time, take you out, but that would be the risk you have to take at this point because everything's looking pretty strong. Let's see how S&P looks. S&P is very much stronger. You can see we're getting higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, whereas the NAS was more flat. So it's a little different.
Lennox, in my 4-hour Bitcoin, it looks like it's continuously been in wave 4 for quite a few days now, since the 9th of May.
Yeah, we've been in a very choppy area for sure.
Yeah.
On Bitcoin.
The next high is quite a bit up. But
so what George is talking about, if I go to the 4-hour, we've been Bitcoin has been in this channel.
Yeah.
For quite a while here, and we've just been chopping up and down. So we're heading back to the upside right now on that move. So we could still come down another time. If we consider this as our number 3 point, then this would be our A and our B and our C and our D could come up here, and then we could get another move down to take out C and even A maybe, and before we continue. So that's a possibility. Otherwise, it's just an A, B, C, and then we would just go. There's a couple of different ways of looking at that. All right, so back down to the 1 minute, looking for them to retrace now. So my new high is here. I'm looking at the whole move to the low. there. That entire move, 50% takes me back down to this gap. That seems quite a stretch that would come all the way back down there, but anything's possible with this coin. If I looked at just the last leg here, then that takes us to the first gap, which is reasonable. I could say that's a reasonable retrace back to here, and then we could see a move. But we could also push down into this one. So can't rule that out. Back to the NAS. Okay, so NAS, this was our, see, I'm jumping around too much. So entry opportunity in the NAS right there to continue out now. So it's still a sweet spot area to buy in. Let's see. Will they come back into that gap one more time? If just touching the gap is enough right there to make a buy. So I'll buy it there. And then my stop would be just below the low here. Don't want to put it too far away. But I'm also taking a risk because I could get stopped out here too if I put it too tight. So that's the problem with stops. So that there could have been taken out already. So am I wrong and we're not going up? That's possible as well. So they've come back in to take out the low. So we've got a 1-2. So we could be heading out and out now. A little bit of drawdown there. So my stop would have been too tight in here. And your stop down here is a bit far away. So it's a catch-22 area on this one. So if we're confident we're going to go, sometimes I don't put my stop in immediately. I'll wait to see what occurs. But that's a risky thing to do, you know, for most, because if they just spike it all of a sudden, then you're in trouble, right? So
This
because
is
they have
looking,
swept,
the NASDAQ is looking like it wants to go down, but
you're still
it's
thinking
really
down. Let's see.
it's at a crossroads type of thing, but
Yeah,
the
it's
emphasis is towards the down. Well, it's trying to move down. Let me put it that way.
interesting.
It
So
could
I'm looking
go.
for
It
them to
could go
push up.
either way very easily.
Yeah, it's a tough one because we had a 1, 2, 3 here. This is a little blip. It's a very small
Yeah.
blip. So this move could be our 3, and then we're just in a fourth
Yeah,
wave
that's what I'm
chop.
looking at as a 3, and we're in a funky 4.
Yeah, we could be in a funky 4 that could take us back down, certainly, or we get this nice move out of here at this point. So because we've swept these lows, I'm kind of looking at it like, okay, maybe we have a chance to move out, but I could be wrong, and we could turn and come back down, certainly. So it's an iffy one.
Where I'm at, the top line of that consolidation period is all the VWAP line. It's almost parallel. It has a slightly downward slope to it, very slight, like 2 degrees maybe. So it's kind of looking like, well, I mean, it's hard to say whether it wants to go up or down, but the trend right now is towards the downside. But if it changed to the upside, I don't think we would be surprised.
If you take a look at S&P is a little stronger than the NAS, not by much, mind you, but just a tad stronger. So it could survive this play. But I need to survive without getting stopped out. So I'm looking for Bitcoin to come down a little lower here. And we could come down into the second gap here, perhaps. So at this point, I've got a 1, 2, 3. And I'm looking for them to come down a little bit, maybe even to that area here. So NAS is not moving out. It's still hanging around in that area. So I could get stopped out here for a loss, which was not good. I don't like losing. We're at 20 minutes after 8 as well. I'm since it's Friday, I'll go another 10 minutes with you guys, and then we'll call it a day. Okay. So
Bitcoin looks like it's dropping to the downside now.
yes.
It's almost at the point of change of character.
Okay. So NAS stopped me out. Okay, so I took that risk to see.
That's what I'm afraid of on that thing.
Yeah, so I took that risk to see if we could get out, but they're not moving out. So they've stopped me out. I didn't have to put my stop in. I don't like it, but I decided to put the stop in. But could have put my stop at this low, and maybe I'd be safe, but maybe not. We'll see if that will. We'll take a little hit there on trying to get out of here. So they came very close to the low here. So it's possible that might be the final move there. We could go out. So Bitcoin did come back down to 50% of the retrace of this move from this low to this high. They've come back into about almost 50% there. So I still like to see them come down a little lower and go 50%
It looks
of the
like
entire
it's starting its lower descent now. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if it easily got down to 50% area. But there again, I'm not anywhere near good at predicting Bitcoin.
Okay, so NAS is looking to come down a little bit more and take out the lows again. So we do have a 1, 2, 3 top here, so we can see that, yes, we can come down a little further. So this was interesting. It looked like a possibility that we could go, but they said, no, we're not doing that.
Well, if NASDAQ gets below that channel that you showed on your chart, it would be forming the wave 5 to go down. If you interpret that, what I call the funky wave 4.
Yes, that would be our, because we have a 1, 2, 3 top, that would be our fourth and then our fifth wave to take out this low. So that would be an expectation. However, it was looking like maybe because of this nice move up, but that's a nice way they fake you out. And then they sweep this low that maybe we had a chance of leaving and going up without doing this. But
Yeah.
And that's still possible that we can continue up without taking out the low. And that might be some.
Oh yeah, it really hasn't left its indecision phase.
Yeah, see how
S&P is wave 4.
S&P is different because S&P up here, we didn't get a 1, 2, 3 like on the NAS. They did a sweep, then we get a 1, 2, 3 like this or like this, and another one, and then they dropped it. So this could be the bottom, or again, it's a fifth wave, and we're going to come back down, take out the lows.
Yeah, and the other thing on NASDAQ, it doesn't always take out wave 3's low. With wave 5.
So it's looking like this is a definite probability that we could come back down and take this low out on the S&P and on the NAS. But you see we had divergence up here. So that was quite interesting.
You know, on my linear regression channel, it's just at 51%, you know, the even point on it, which makes it very difficult to guess what's going on, which is indicative of a nice wave 4. So
with Bitcoin now, 50% of the entire move takes us right to this gap, top of the gap here. So looks likely that we're going to touch that gap. And that would give us an opportunity for a rebound to the upside. So this gap has been violated. So it's just this gap left.
And Bitcoin dipped its toe into a big fair value gap, but it's trying to turn around, but somehow I don't think it's going to be fully successful. But I could be wrong on that. That's a big fair value gap at this point.
Mm-hmm. See how it looks on the 5. So on the 5, we've got a very large fair value gap there as well.
Yeah, right.
15-minute has one as well. So yeah, we're going to drop one more time into this gap, and that will present an opportunity on Bitcoin to the
And
upside.
NASDAQ is trying to reach for the inside the wave 4 again. It still hasn't made a good move upward. So it could be just a feeble attempt and turn back down.
All right, just a few more minutes here, and I'll leave you guys. I have to go back to sleep. I am feeling it here. I was up at 5 this morning for whatever reason.
The interesting thing is that volatility is not that strong right now. I mean, you can have a tighter stop at this point. ATR is only about 10 on a 1-minute chart. You got a little hopper there. I don't know what that leaf is.
I'm not sure what the leaf is either. Yeah, these are big guys. They're so big. Okay. All right, I'll call it a day here, guys.
Okay, thank you,
not
Lennox.
much going on right now, so it's a bit patience.
It's called treading water is going on.
So it's just patience time now. It's a Friday, so be careful. I made that one loss, so I'm now over 100,000. So I had a couple small loss. Well, one big loss, but so I made some nice profits here to get over 104,000 to 104,000 now. So that cancels out. So I got 2, 4, 6, made it about 6.5, almost 7,000 there today. So pretty good this morning here.
Attempting a drop on, it was attempting to drop on Bitcoin.
But you can see Bitcoin's dropping into that gap now. So I'll be looking for an entry in here, either on a fractal or wait for the 1, 2, 3. So if you're patient, you wait for the 1, 2, 3. If you're not patient, or if you're confident, you can jump in on the fractal and catch the move. But you always take a risk when you try this. All right. On that note, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Lennox. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
You
Have
too.
a good weekend, gentlemen.
Have a good strong end, I would say.
Yeah.
All right.
Peter
Was very quiet, so.
Yeah, I'm trading Tesla.
How are you faring today?
I'm long. It was a 1, 2, 3 bottom on the 1 minute, 1 hour chart.
Yes. And we're pushing to the upside, like I say, going for that high. So definitely a long was in the cards there on Tesla after we hit the bottom. So good. Excellent. All right. Have a great couple of days off, gentlemen. We'll see you on Monday. Take care.
You too.
And for those on
Take
YouTube,
care.
thanks for dropping in. This is all for educational purposes. We don't expect anybody to take our trades. Do give us a like and subscribe to our channel. We appreciate it. Take care, everybody.
You too.